What's up, everybody? It is Nick Atkin. I'm back for a podcast today, a live show, increasingly rare at the moment. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know I meant to do one earlier this week to talk about Friday Fights 147, but here we are, and we got a great show for you today. We got not only talking about Friday Fights and the big news of the releases earlier this week that I broke on Bangkok Post, but I've got a special guest for you. We're kicking off the show today with Gilbert Nakatani. How you doing, Gilbert? It's good to see you again. You are back
Doing
in action
good.
next month. Everything going good?
Yes, sir. Good to see you. I appreciate you taking the time to set up this interview.
Of course. Well, I have to thank Bear Fraser for setting it up. He's listening in the background eagerly.
Bear.
He hooked us up here. So thanks, Bear, as always. And we'll have another one tomorrow with Chase Man, the Manimal. He's also back in action next month. It's a
Nice.
nice card. Yeah, I'm looking forward to you back in there, man, against Banmar Doge. Sorry, that was your fight that was booked. That one fell through. You're against Joshua
Yeah.
Pereira this time. Talk to me what happened, though, yeah, with Banmar. That was going to be in January, right? Or
Yeah, I was
February?
about to be February, so I was prepared. I don't know what happened with him, cold feet or whatnot. He said he got injured, but I was ready, so I just stayed in the gym, kept my nose down, kept working hard, and they gave me actually his ex opponent, Joshua Pieta. So I'm ready. I'm working hard. And I can't wait to be back in Thailand.
Yeah, Joshua's coming off a bad injury on that fight. I think he tore his ACL or something in the first round, and then got TKO'd, but he was compromised. You know what I mean? So you can't take too much from that fight on his debut, right? It's difficult to actually
Yeah.
know what he's going to bring.
Yeah, I didn't really gauge much from it, but I'm gonna just prepare how usually do and go in there and give it my all and come out with my hand raised.
Yeah. Well, talk to me though about what you've been doing since we last saw you, because it's been a while. I think you beat Echo, Ronnie, Saputra. Yeah, it was November, right? So you've
November.
had a little bit of a break. Yeah, what have you been up to?
Yeah, just same old same, just working hard. I was ready in February, fell out, so I just stayed in the gym, kept working hard, just focusing on what I can control and how to get better, and just continuing to grow as a fighter. And I'm ready to showcase my skills and some new little tricks, I guess you could say. In this next fight, I can't wait to just go out there and show what I'm made of.
Yeah, what are these new little tricks then? Because you had a tough start to your one career. You fought the guy who's now the champion, and you gave a very good account of yourself. And a lot of people thought, well, he's going to be a big player in this division. Then you had the loss to Miata, which kind of was a bit of a surprise. I like Jeremy Miata. A lot of people don't know how good he is, but you're back on track with Ekaroni. But yeah, it's been a not the start you probably wanted, right, in one championship, but now it's time to get some momentum, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like to make excuses, but I wasn't 100% healthy in both of those first two fights. Just getting used to traveling and whatnot. I had some stomach issue, and I didn't even know about it until I had got back after the Miato fight. So that's why I was able to showcase how I really fight in the Echo Ronnie fight, because I was 100% healthy and I had all my power and strength. So the first two fights didn't go as planned. I still think I won the Miato fight. I think I gave Wakamatsu one of the best runs for his money. He's over here knocking out everybody else, and he wasn't able to put me away. So I look forward to the future. I just got to keep doing what I'm supposed to do and win, and hopefully get those ones back. I would really want to get those ones back. I feel like I could get those ones and win in a rematch. If it's Miyato or Wakamatsu, I'm gonna prepare. For I'm not gonna look too far forward, but I'm prepared for those rematches. Um, I seen Miyato was supposed to fight coming up. Or he just fought actually right last month, so I was ready to step up for that fight, but they called somebody else. So now I'm focused on this upcoming fight in April, and just one step at a time, and I'll just keep winning and climbing the ranks and hopefully get those rematches.
Yeah, well, you've got a nice goal to look forward to, right? you're talking about getting those wins back. I guess Miata would come first, but how hell bent are you on getting back to Yuya Wakamatsu, presuming he still has the belt? Because he's got a tough matchup coming up next month as well in Japan. How do you see that one going with him and Avazbek Komizayev at one
Yeah,
samurai one?
that's gonna be a good card. It's gonna be a good fight. That's the first one in Japan. Hopefully, one day I could go back to my hometown. Well, not my hometown, but my heritage. Go to Japan and get a fight out there. Depending, it doesn't matter really who it is. I just want to go and travel and showcase my skills to the world. So um, just depending on how fast we get there, and I'll be ready for whoever they give me. If it's Wakamatsu, Miyaru, or anybody else, I'm willing to just keep climbing the ranks and no rush. If Wakamatsu's still the champ, if he's not, I'll just keep working hard, and hopefully one day I show that I'm capable of retaining that belt and keeping it, bringing it back to Los Angeles and the U.S.
Yeah, and there's a new look to the whole division. It feels like new guys coming in, the old guard is leaving slowly. We've had DJ retire, vacate the belt. Adriano Moraes has just been released. He was former champion, and then you've got you. We got Willie Van Ruin coming through. We got, like we said, Avazbek Homazayev. Danny King had lost to Hu Yong. Hu Yong is making a push as well. Does it feel very exciting for you to be part of the new breed, perhaps, of flyweight
Yeah,
in one
part of the
championship?
new wave coming in. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to make noise. I want to continue to put on good fights. I'm really just focusing on doing the best I can do and trying to finish every fight I can instead of leaving it to the judges. I never know. You never know how the way they're gonna judge. So I'm gonna just go in there and look to finish, whether it's on the feet or on the ground or by submission. Um, that's my new goal, is just go in there and push the pace and try to get the finish however it comes. So we will see come 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, your fights are always exciting, and even if it's decision, the Yuya fight was very entertaining for me. And as you said, TKO last time against Eko Ronnie. I'm sure you'll be bringing it. Do you feel Joshua can't hang with you, in so to speak? Is it going to be an early night?
No, I respect him. He's a good fighter. He's in one championship for a reason. I'm not looking past him. I got to focus on what I can control and how I can control the match and look for the finish. He's good all around. I give him all the respect, but I don't think he's better than me at any position. So, depending on if it's on the feet or on the ground, wherever it goes, I feel confident in my abilities to um, finish or control or you know um, advance, more to speak, advance my positions and continue to work and look for the finish, whether it be ground and pound or on the feed or by a submission. I feel real confident in my skills and my heart and my desire to win. I hope he's training hard because I'm going to bring the best Nakatani you guys have seen yet.
Well, you've been on one fight night now. This will be the fourth event out in Bangkok at Lumpini. We mentioned one samurai earlier, and you mentioned, of course, Japan is very important to you as part of like your home country, I guess. So you're looking forward to one day getting to compete on a samurai card.
Yeah, that's hopefully next. I really envision me going to Japan and making my grandfather proud. He was full Japanese. They migrated from Japan to California. So I really do see myself trying to get to that samurai card and hopefully in the near future getting in there and showing my skills and what I'm made of to the Japanese culture and uh, fight fans.
Yeah, well, I'd love to see you there too. It's exciting times in one championship, isn't it? Thailand, Japan, America may be back. It looks like in the summer. Would you be up for something a little closer to home in Denver in June?
Oh yeah, that 20-hour flight would be cut out. It wouldn't be too shabby to get one in America again. I've been doing the traveling part, and Denver is a lot closer to California for me, so it wouldn't be as hard to travel there. And I would definitely be up for that. Whatever one championship puts in front of me, I'm gonna just prepare the best of my abilities and. Uh, Hopefully get the best fights and just keep growing and um, one day get back to that championship fight. I know I can do it.
Yeah, I believe in you, Gilbert. Yeah, I know how disappointed you were. I
Appreciate
think
it.
after the Miata fight, really, like we said, it was a setback. But setbacks are the setup for the comeback. You know what I mean? Is that the way you see it?
Yeah, I think that one was crazy. Is I just had a couple little cuts. I guess I think my body wasn't 100%, so I just cut a little easy. So it kind of looked bad, but I feel like I had a lot more damage done to him. It just looked bad on my side because he couldn't walk after the fight, and I was walking around like I was okay. So and the same thing in the Wakamatsu fight. I took him to the decision. It was real close. I give him that, and he was struggling at the end of the fight too to get around in the back, and I was walking around. So I continue to push the pace on everybody, and I think my cardio and my skill set is going to be key to this one, and I'm going to push the pace on them and hopefully get to this finish and just keep climbing the ranks. Whoever they put up against next, I'll be ready.
Yeah, and what about the man who just beat Jeremy as well, Willie Van Ruin? We were talking about him. Have you been impressed by him? And I guess do you see him as a guy you're going to have to go through to get to the belt?
Yeah, he had fought on the same card as I did last time in November, and he had got armbarred by that guy that's fighting for the belt against Wakamatsu. So we're all right there in the mix. I don't look past none of those guys. Um, he's pretty skillful in his ways, but I think I don't know. I don't know how we match up yet. I'm just focused on this fight, but I could see us in the near future maybe matching up. So I'm gonna continue to just keep growing and getting better as a fighter, and we will see. I'm not sure. I've only seen him a little bit of clips on him. I've only seen his last fight, and then how he fought against Miato. He barely got the finish in the third round against Miato. So. Um, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. These guys are all up and coming and new, just kind of like me. I'm gonna continue to just kind of grow as a fighter, and we will see what the future holds.
I'm excited to see where it goes. So yeah, story of the fight out here. Shout out one of my members. It says Denver, please wants to see you there. I guess that's the plan. You get a good finish here, quick turnaround for June, right?
Yeah, I'll be ready. I hope to get in there and handle my business and get my hand raised, and I'll be ready for Denver or Japan or even back to Thailand. Um, I want to stay busy. I really feel like I can. I fought 5 6 times in 2004 2024. I just had those hiccups, and I had a really bad infection in my stomach that I didn't even know about when I was fighting, and those first couple fights. So now I'm healthy, and I feel strong and ready to go. I just want to continue to work hard and grow into the promotion with one championship, and get the best fights I could get, and looking to get those bonuses real soon.
Sick. Well, off topic as well, but sorry the fight likes that light fixture you got there behind you. I like it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Vegas right now. I'm training. I took time away from my family and my friends and my team to come out here and train in Vegas with Syndicate MMA and the guys over here in Pinto Muay Thai. And I'm just right here, disciplined, focused on the fight. No distractions. Eating clean, getting my rest in, doing my recovery, and training night and day and night.
Well, that sounds good. All right, if you got any final message for everyone, what to expect? Yeah, on One Fight Night 42 coming up quickly, April 11, I do believe. Yeah, what's going to happen when you get in the ring there with Joshua Pereira?
I'm gonna just show my skills, and um, I can't wait to really show my evolution and my heart and my desire to win. I really feel like all around fighter. I can handle anybody in there, you know. So as long as I'm healthy and 100%, I'm one of the best in the world. I believe that with all my heart, and I can't wait to show um, the whole world what I'm made of. I hope Joshua brings his A game, because I'm gonna be there, ready in his face the whole time, ready to go, and I'm gonna have the pressure and the power, and I'm gonna definitely be looking for the finish.
I'm excited to see it. Well, thanks, Gilbert, for joining me. Appreciate the time. Enjoy it out there. Yeah, see you soon, maybe in Bangkok. Have a good, I don't know, what is it? It's Wednesday night, I think.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Can't wait to see you guys over in Thailand.
Yes, sir. Thanks again, man, and see you soon. Cheers to Gilbert Nakatani. All right, man. Thank you. That's the man, Gilbert. He's back in action, yeah, against Joshua Pereira at one fight night 42 coming up. Damn, when is it? Yeah, 3 weeks. I can't even remember. These times they just fly by, you know. Feels like I just came back from Bangkok for Fight Night 41. Uh, of course, we had a huge event last week as well. Friday Fights 147, which I haven't yet got to talk about with you guys. So I'm gonna give my thoughts on that. And also this big news, yeah, like I mentioned at the top of the show, the releases. Adriano Moraes is gone. Zebaztian Kadestam and a couple others. Ilya Freemanov and Mauro Cirilli. But yeah, I think the most significant there, the two former champs. But oh, Bear is calling me. One sec. My sound went out, apparently. Can you guys hear me? Bear messaged me saying there's no sound. Let me double check. How am I sounding to you? Let me know if you can hear me or not, please, in the chat. I need to double check my settings. A few technical difficulties here today, as always, to be honest. I still can't get. Okay, little fuzzy. Story says you've had the sound the whole time. Um, Bear says no sound. It's interesting. I can hear you loud and clear. All right, Grant, thank you. I will proceed then. Hopefully it's on. Yeah. To be honest, I was doing the interview there with Gilbert, and he was a little choppy. He was coming in and out, so I didn't know whether my internet is messed up. I'm testing it here in the background, and it's looking pretty good. So I'm hoping it's all okay. Yeah, you know, I've had a lot of trouble with the internet here. Moved house in end of November, and the the Wi-Fi's been tough because it's 2 floors. So I was in the attic before. You probably noticed the change of scenery recently, but the signal just could not really stretch up there. So it's a bit better over here, but still seems I've got to do some work to get it really flying. So I'm going to buy another expensive router to link up. But yeah, I can hear you say Bear said there's no sound. Yeah, I got a frantic call from Bear saying no sound. Um, I don't know why, but I apparently you can hear me, so that's good. I'm just gonna carry on as if you can all hear me. NG, what's up? Here we are. How's it going? Yeah, it's good, man. Just cracking on. We had Gilbert. You missed Gilbert if you've just joined. So hopefully that interview was loud and clear too. He's back in action against Joshua Pereira in a couple weeks out in Bangkok. You need a mesh system, bro. I do have a mesh system. I've got a box over here, man. Like here's the one in the room, ASUS, and that is pretty much directly above the big router with the mega antennas. And then we got another couple of mesh boxes out there. It's just there's something about this building, I guess. The walls are too thick. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna buy one more super duper router to try and boost the signal up to the floor, and otherwise we'll just have to accept that the Wi-Fi sucks. It's a shame because I was very excited when I moved to this place that I'd finally be able to get broadband and fiber optics, because before I've been having these 5G kind of boxes that just like a phone SIM you connect to. Anyway, there needs to be a good overlap between the nodes. Maybe need one more. Ooh, I forgot that story of the fight. Will over here is a big IT nerd, so I'm gonna. I mean that in a good way. I'm gonna maybe pick your brains about this offline to get my connection just right. Okay. Well, what do you want to talk about? As Cody Rhodes says, we want to do Friday fights first or these releases. I guess Friday fights is older news, so maybe I can get to that at the end. But yeah, we talk about these releases quickly. So I broke the news, I think, on Monday. It was just before I went to play football. So that's a fun story in and of itself. I'll talk about. But yeah, I went out for a couple hours, played football, came back. I posted the story just before I left the house, and then came back I checked my phone when I finished playing football, and yeah, it just blew up a little bit. And like, what happened? And then I saw like Ali Abdelaziz was getting involved, and uh, yeah, and I guess it's big news, and here it is. If you haven't seen it already, yeah, One Championship released 4 fighters from the roster, and 2 of them were former champs, Adriano Moraes, Zebaztian Kadestam, alongside Mauro Cirilli and Ilya Freymanov. So it was a pretty big news story. Oh, Billy's just walked in. If you want to catch Billy, he's on camera now. Or I can put him on camera. You can see his tail sticking out. All right, so we got 2 dogs. Smolly's on the floor somewhere down there. Dogs are in the house. I'll get back to the news though. Oh, where is it? I need a producer. I always say that. Okay. Yeah, Bangkok Post, big story. Adriano Moraes, Zebaztian Kadestam gone. The Bangkok Post understands the quartet were informed they are no longer with the promotion. Also told they could be welcome back in the future should they rebuild momentum elsewhere with wins outside the organization. Their roster pages on One's official website have been updated to reflect that status. Yeah, all 4 competed in MMA, of course. 2 former world champs, and I think Ilya, of course, was a former interim title challenger. I'm not sure if Mauro actually. I mean, Mauro was one of the very few fighters in One. I think. Well, still, technically that I've never had an interaction with. Actually, I want to bring up his page, but I don't think I ever actually interviewed this guy. I watched him fight once in live, I think, and that was in Qatar when he fought Krishenko, and I think he broke his leg or something. Kirill calf kicked him or low kicked him. It might have been his knee that buckled. It was a bad injury. Yeah, and it was a first round TKO in Doha, February 2025. So yeah, I'm gonna just run through it because I don't think I ever crossed paths with him, which is rare. Because yeah, he may have fought Brandon Vera for the belt at Conquest of Champions. Yeah, it was. So he's also a former title challenger. So all 4 of these guys have either touched gold or been very close to it in One Championship. So 4 significant releases, and yeah, he had an interesting career in One. Yeah, he'd been there for a while, old Mauro, but yeah, 2018 was that title fight. I started covering One in 2019. So I missed this fight with Hong Kong's own Alan Nilani as well, the Panther. My first event was end of March, I think, New Era in Tokyo, when DJ and Eddie debuted, a huge card there. So I didn't see him for that fight. And then, so I guess I was there for Century Part 2, yeah, when in Tokyo as well, when Arjan Bula beat him. But I didn't interview him before the fight, and I didn't interview him after because he lost. I think Arjan came in to the press room. I was there. I remember, yeah, getting to Tokyo quite late. That was a mess, that one. Typical me, yeah. But I remember getting to the airport and my bag was too heavy for the airline. They're like, you can't take this amount of stuff, and I couldn't get on the plane or something. So I had to go the next day. So I missed the press conference. I had all this camera equipment with me, yeah, and then it was a mess. So I got there late the next day, and then didn't get enough interviews done. I arrived just in time to catch the end of the media day. So I got a few interviews like Brandon Vera and Onglan Sang, DJ. Remember DJ getting a little pissed off with me. I don't know what question I asked him that pissed him off, but it might have been something to do with Cejudo. Anyway, yeah, so I didn't see his fight with Abdul Basser Vagabov either. I think that was during COVID era when we weren't at the shows, and then I guess same with Amir Ali Akbari. I wasn't there. I think that one they had just brought people back for events. That was the first Prime Video show. I'm not sure if they had actually, but I didn't go to that one. Again, I had, typical me, I had a passport issue for that one. My passport had expired. I believe that was the issue, so I didn't go. Something like that. I've had a few of those things. Yeah, and then maybe I saw him against Paul Elliott for that one. Stamp versus Ham again. That was another one I wasn't at because I was stuck in Hong Kong. The old SCMP wouldn't let me go to that one. The Asian Games was on. They preferred me to stay and cover the Asian Games, so I just kept missing old Mauro Cirilli. So, and then like I said in Qatar, he lost and he got injured. So I never interviewed him. It's just a bit of a rare thing for me, man. But yeah, that's just one of those things in life. So sad to see him go. And what do we want to talk about? More networking. Yeah, I can talk about Wi-Fi networks for as long as you want, guys. But don't think the dogs will be too excited. Molly has settled down over there. Billy is now on the bath mat over here. So we gotta get into these releases a little bit more. I'm going back to the article on Bangkok Post. So if you like, please go read the articles. You can read all my articles on Bangkok Post. You know, it's normally something new every day on average. So you can check that out. I've got some stuff coming today. You want to keep your eyes peeled. A little bit of big breaking news I'll be doing after this. So stay tuned, guys. Also got some interviews still I'm working through. Of course, we just had Gilbert, so I'll get something written up on him. But yeah, another one was Ilya Fraimanov, and you know, Ilya had an interesting time in one championship as well. He looked really good when he debuted. I remember saying to my old buddy Tom Taylor that this guy is going to be a problem in this featherweight division. You know, where is it? There it is. I'm still figuring out how to use this. There you go. Ilya Fraimanov. I thought this guy looked awesome. When he debuted, I remember, against Martin Nguyen, I turned around, Tom Taylor was next to me. We were in Singapore, I believe. And I said, yeah, this is crazy. This guy is going to be a player in the division. I know Martin Nguyen was coming off like a couple of losses already. I think he He'd lost the belt to Tanli, and then he had lost a real shock to Kim Jae-ung. He'd rebounded with Kirill Gorobets beating him, actually. But yeah, this was his third loss in 4. It was kind of like the beginning of the end of Martin was unfolding in front of us. And I think this fight really, and Martin Nguyen, is a legend, and he had been so dominant for such a long time in 1, 2 division champ, nearly 3 division, if but for a split decision loss to Bibiano. And he could have been bantamweight, concurrent 3 weight champ before Malakin did it. So that's the level he was at. But yeah, Freemanov just monstered him. I remember it was scary. First round TKO, and then he came back the summer after, destroyed Shine. That was a good fight. For as long as it lasted, not very long, 2 minutes. It was very crazy. I remember, I think Shine like dropped him or something, or they were scrambling on the ground, and yeah, I think he broke his orbital in that one, something like that. Maybe not, because it was definitely some sort of eye injury. And then yeah, that earned him a interim title shot against Tan Lee, and Tan submitted him with a heel hook after a minute, and that was a shock to me. But I still thought, he's good enough that he's gonna come back, and he's gonna be a future champion. I thought at the time, like, because Tan Lee had to still unify the belts with Tang Kai, but I thought Freemanov would definitely work his way back to the belt, because he was still so young. He was like 27, 28, like that. He's still only 30, so. But yeah, the surprising thing, we just never saw him again in 1. I don't know why. Honestly, I got no information on that. I'd honestly forgotten about him. I genuinely, when they brought up his name and I heard like he's been released, I thought, yeah, Freemanov. What happened to him? When I heard about that, I was just shocked. So it's a sad one for me, because yeah, well, I just don't know what he could have achieved in 1, and I don't know what happened, whether it was injuries, and then I think he fought outside 1 once. I'm not sure where. I'm gonna look it up now. Maybe that kind of caused friction with them, and caused contractual issues, so they didn't want to use him. But he's 13-2. Yeah, he fought in Blacksmith Fighting Championship. I don't know what that is. No disrespect to that organization, wherever that is. That was the end of last year. So he won by a doctor stoppage in round 3. He's a very talented fighter. So I wish him all the best. Honestly, I wish it had worked out for him in 1. I have no idea what happened with him. But sadly, his future will no longer be in 1 championship. But yeah, then we had the Bandit, Zebaztian Kadestam. This one was a shock as well for me, because I thought Kadestam was gonna get that final crack at the belt, his belt he used to own, the welterweight title. It's crazy what happened to him as well. He knocked out Roberto Soldic. His trajectory was just going like this, right? 3 wins in a row. He had totally bounced back from that sort of bad run he had, where he lost the belt to Abasov. You can see it here. And then he had 2 more losses. Abdullayev, first round submission, showed that his ground game just was not good enough. And Abasov had really exposed that. I remember watching that. This was, the first kind of year I started covering 1. And yeah, Abasov just, I remember, had his way with him on the ground, took him down, Molly's barking, again and again and again and again for 25 minutes. It was kind of sad to see. Then a decision against Ramazanov, lost, but Ramazanov is very good. Yeah, I think he's no longer with 1 either. But yeah, he had a tough stretch there, but then he bounced back with three KO wins, 2 in the first round. He made very quick work of Yuri Lapicus. I remember that was an uppercut. Rest in peace to Yuri. I think Yuri. I remember died in a motorcycle crash. I think a couple years ago. Very tragic. But yeah, the big win there was knocking out Soldic in Denver. I don't think it was Soldic's debut. Soldic had a debut in Manila late 2022 and got like kicked so hard in the crotch his cup broke. But there was a funny story where his cup was made of plastic or something, not metal. Well, anyway, yeah, and then we just didn't see him for so long, and he kept calling for Christian Lee. Christian was gone for a while, obviously the death of his sister, and then he took some time off. I thought they'd make an interim title. Kadestam would get to fight for it, and it just never happened. Never happened. And I thought they'd do the rematch with Soldic, just never happened. He was gonna fight against Isi Fitikefu, I think in May last year, but then he failed the hydration test, and then he never came back during the 3 hours. I think the doctor ruled that he was not allowed to come back. He was too dehydrated and he was trying to cut too much weight. And he told me, Kadestam told me, like it was short notice and I'd been out of action for so long, it was really tough to get down. So I think that's why they gave him a middleweight fight, for his next one against Ongla. Ongla retirement fight. Obviously, Ongla TKO him in the second round. Big send off for the Burmese Python. But yeah, Kadestam was very much interested in coming back, and he was messaging me in December, I think, saying what happened with that welterweight fight with Issy and Jabir Jabrailov when that one fell through. He was still actively seeing like who's in the mix. I want to fight them. And then it just didn't happen. Never heard from him again, and that was it. He's been released, and now he's fighting in Octagon. So, all the best to Zebaztian Kadestam. I really enjoyed meeting him, interviewing him, watching him fight. I put up a fun thing on my Twitter actually with, I think it was Caposa responded, I'll just show this. Caposa pointed out he's already found a new home, going to be in Octagon 24th of April next month. So I'll be cheering him on. I love Zebaztian Kadestam. If it's not going to work out for him in one, best to release these guys, let them go fight elsewhere. But this is with Tom Taylor. I said I wish him all the best. I love that guy. I'll never forget sharing chicken nuggets and whiskey with him at the Denver hotel after he KO'd Soldic, then doing an impromptu drunk interview with him and Tom Taylor that I'm not sure ever saw the light of day, probably for the best. We're all a little tipsy there. He was very happy, I remember, after that night, because I think a lot of people were expecting Soldic to just body him, and he proved everyone wrong, man. And there was a sense like this was a huge moment in his career, like the comeback had almost been complete from losing the belt, that he could still be a player, a champion. But man, I'm so surprised what happened with him after that. I don't know why, but I'm hoping I'll be following his career and hoping the best for him. And then who's the last one? Of course, Adriano Moraes. Yeah, another one. I'm shocked because he is so good, and I still thought he had so much fight. He's 37, but he's in great shape, and he didn't go well for him against Yuya Wakamatsu in that rematch, first round TKO. But he had submitted Yuya in the first round in their first fight, so you could make a case for like a trilogy if he got another win. But I think maybe it was time for a new chapter at his age. He wanted to go test himself elsewhere. He had nothing else to prove really, and won, I think, 2-time flyweight champion, and He'd beaten Demetrius Johnson, which is not many people can say that. I think him and Cejudo, maybe another. But it's Mighty Mouse, isn't it? Legend and the first man to knock out Demetrius Johnson for sure. So legendary win. You know, everyone had expected DJ to beat him, but he beat almost everyone in that flyweight division pretty much. His resume was a who's who, and I was excited to see him. I thought he would beat Yuya, to be honest, in Japan to become the champ, win the vacant belt. I was surprised by the result, but you know, Yuya's leveled up a lot since the first fight with him, and he's looking very good right now. Yeah, maybe it's time for a new change, or maybe he just was frustrated. Who knows? I know he sort of vented some frustrations over his lack of fights after that DJ trilogy. He was out for a little stretch, wasn't he, before he fought Danny Kingad? But then he had 2 fights in 5 months. It's pretty decent. Yeah, then maybe he was hoping to get something last year again, but it didn't happen. I don't know, or his contract was up. He thought time to test myself elsewhere, and he's earned that right. He's like I said, done everything he can in one, and maybe he's like, I don't have it in me to fight my way back to the belt here. I want to. That's going to take another couple of years. I want to see if I can go win the belt in UFC. I think he talked about, or there was an interview with him from, I think MMA fighting. Guillermo Cruz, I want to say, but the guy who's very close with the Brazilians, obviously. Yeah, he said he's obviously. He says I train with Pantoja and I train with Horiguchi. No, sorry, yeah, Horiguchi and yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, he obviously he's at American Top Team. So those guys, yeah, both top. Horiguchi is on his way to the flyweight belt. I think he's got Manel Cup next. But Pantoja, obviously the former champ, lost it to Joshua Van with that freak injury. So he knows he can compete at that level. So maybe he wants to test himself there. And my only thing is, can he make the weight? Because flyweight in one is a little different, right? It's essentially bantamweight in UFC, 10 pounds up. So can he get to that limit in UFC? But I guess you don't have to pass a hydration test as well. So, Moraes is very professional. I'm sure he will have no issues with it. But yeah, just once again, look at his resume. He beat everyone. He beat Kairat, who was a former champ as well. He beat Danny Kingad twice, who has always been a contender in that division. He lost to Jay on a split decision, which was, I think, a bit of a shock. But he avenged that and got the belt back in the Philippines. And then he beat Demetrius Johnson. So he's beaten like all the other flyweight champs one's ever had. I think literally. So even Yuya has the belt now. He's beaten him. So yeah, nothing else to prove for Adriano. And I wish him all the best. And of course, he's already got a fight. He's fighting Mohamed Mokaev on the Netflix MMA card, the MVP promotion. So yeah, there's been a bit of debate in the group chat. And obviously, if you shout out to my members, we have a Discord. So, one of the perks of being a member, if you want to support the channel, you can. And you can sign up and be a member, help me out with my costs, planes and hotels, not too cheap for some of these events I go to. And I pay my video guy, of course, as well, Giuliano. He's not cheap. He's at the Friday fights today for me, face off. So yeah. But anyway, I was saying in the group chat, I like this Netflix MMA card more than. I'm more excited to watch this definitely than the UFC White House card, but also most UFC cards because I feel the UFC is phoning it in now with their cards, and there's been a lot of debate, hasn't there, about the White House card, and I just think it's weak. I think it's like it's not what it could have been. It's like a yeah. I would expect the way the way Dana picked it up, it was going to be John Jones and McGregor and Ronda Rousey, and they should have gone all out and paid the money for that, but they did not. So they've all gone over to Netflix, it seems. Not McGregor, but nor Jones, but Rousey's gone. And yeah, I like this. I said in the group chat, MMA should be fun, and I think the UFC has lost touch a little bit with what their fans actually want. We don't want like the cheapest fights possible, between the sure they go by rankings and things, but they're signing less of the best fighters in the world because they're more expensive. They're bringing through people cheaper, and then you know I'd rather see guys like Nate Diaz, and he's just got more charisma in his little finger than half of these people on the UFC roster. But anyway, and I think one tried that with their MMA as well to be fun. They had these fun matchups, but the UFC can do what they want, and it is what it is. But yeah, that Moraes is on that card with Markaev. That's a really good matchup. It's so high level, and you can say what you want about Netflix card. It's just washed out fighters, but I think they have a nice mix of the kind of freak fights and the ex legends, or and then they've got some actual current really good fighters going at it. So it is what it is. I'm going to jump to the chat quickly, but yeah, the upshot, 4 fighters released. Very sad to see a lot of these guys go. But yeah, I wish them all the best, 100%. But yeah, I'm going to have a little bit of a look at the chat now because I've been neglecting you guys. Sorry, while I go on my rant here. News Bodor, what's up? Says, I'm your fan from Myanmar. How are you doing? Thanks for watching. I want to know why KSW lost to Samingdam, as KSW hit more, if possible. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll get into that in a few minutes. I'll do a full-on recap of Friday fights and all that. Story of the fight, one of my members, shout out. Most bummed out about Fraimanov among those releases. Grant here, another of my members, shout out to Grant, says, in my opinion, KSW definitely won that fight. It was a robbery. Yeah, we'll get into that. I won't put up this comment from Ong Ko because it's got some swears in it, but also from Myanmar, and it seems they're not happy about that KSW decision. Sean, listening at work. Hey everyone. Hey Sean, how are you? Mariah's, at least he can trial 125 again on that Netflix card. Yes, absolutely. I think that is a good way to see. I don't know if they have drug testing and things like that on. I'm presuming not on the Netflix thing. So I'm sure he can use a few things to help him get there. And I'm not sure if UFC's drug testing policy is as stringent as it used to be, of course, under USADA or whatever. I think, well, they probably still have USADA, but they dialed it back a little, didn't they? So maybe it's a bit easier to use some stuff than he would have been able to in one. One has a pretty strict drug policy. The thing with one, yeah, it's a strict policy, but I wish it was enforced a bit more. Like, I wish there was out of competition testing, and then not everybody always gets tested either on the in competition side. So a lot of guys, if they know how to cycle on and cycle off, they can. It's an intelligence test, as they say. If you fail a one championship drug test, I really question your intelligence, because you should know what's in your system, and you should know when it's going to be out of your system. If you turn up with something there, it's pretty idiotic. But there you go. UFC has in-house testing now. No USADA. Story of the fight. Thank you. Meaning it's an IQ test. Exactly. So I think there's sort of a general idea, like, guys are going to use stuff. It's MMA. It's combat sports. If we look too hard, we're going to find stuff a lot more frequently, but it is what it is. Alicia asking, how do you think about the KSW match? Can you accept Samingdang won the game? Well, a lot of you are talking about this, so maybe we will get into it now. Yeah. And I'm going to bring up my Instagram. But my attention has been... Oh, wow. My attention has been brought to a Rodtang post. I guess we have to talk about this quickly. So he's just posted on Instagram. Well, I'm sure this is going to go down well with one. A lot of people have been asking whether I have any issues with one. I'd like to clarify that I have no problems at all. My previous contract with one has simply expired, and I am currently in discussions and reviewing the terms of a new agreement. Regarding the big fight with Takeru, this will be a special bout outside of my contract. I am fully prepared and ready for this fight. Thank you to everyone who has always supported and shown me so much love. Let's give it our all for what we love. For promoters, sponsors, or partners who are interested in working together, please feel free to contact my coordinator. He's putting his manager's phone number and email on Instagram. Probably not a good idea. Wow. Yeah, that is... I don't know how to process this, really. I had presumed Rodtang was still under contract with one. He's saying he's not. He says his contract's expired and this is a one-off fight with Takeru. So there's a lot to process here. You know, Rodtang is openly courting other promotions, it seems, on his Instagram and I guess his social media accounts everywhere. So yeah, he says 4 promoters interested in working together. So Rodtang testing the water. Is this... It seems like a game of cat and mouse with one, you know. I'm not sure this is going to go down well with one. I'm sure they have a different side of the story. It's always important, yeah, to get both sides of the story. So I don't know what one would say about this, but maybe I'll try and find out. But anyway, there's some bombshell news there. Rodtang posting 10 minutes ago, whatever, 15 minutes ago, saying that he's got a one-off deal to fight Takeru. His contract has expired with one, and he's negotiating currently with them. So it seems to me like probably a negotiating tactic to try and shake one down for more money. And fair play to him, you know. He is Rodtang. He's the biggest star in the company by far, and one have to do everything they can to keep him. So I doubt this really goes down well at all with one. We'll see how that unfolds. But yeah, give me your thoughts on that in the chat. Public negotiations are always rough, Story of the Fight says. NG says maybe talks are going bad for Rodtang, so he's pulling a scare tactic. Yeah, that's my sense, is he's not getting the number he wants. So he's saying, look, I've got millions of followers on socials. I'll put this out there that I'm like essentially a free agent. I don't think he is a free agent from what I understand. I'll try and find out, but most one fighters are, even if their deal expires and they say, hey, I'm now a free agent, they're not, because they actually have matching rights periods. And a guy like Rodtang would probably have a very lengthy matching rights period on his contract, probably a year. Some guys, it's a month, others 3 months, things like that. But essentially for the length of that matching rights period, if any promotion offers them a exclusive contract, I think it is, or maybe even like a one fight thing, one can match it and say, all right, they're offering you this, we're offering you that, so you have to take our deal. I think that's how it works. And then they can also renew that deal during the thing and come to agreement on a new contract at whatever price, and they can also opt to release a fighter if they don't want to match it. So I think that's what's happened with these guys we've been talking about here, Moraes, Kadestam, so and so. As you've seen, they've all got offers elsewhere, and one has declined to match those and release them. So let's see how it unfolds with Rodtang. I have no idea, but certainly interesting news to talk about. And this is a weird fight, isn't it? You've got the headline fight at Samurai for an interim title when Takeru is openly saying he's going to retire, win or lose, and Rodtang is now saying he's a free agent or whatever. So I just not sure what is real and what's not, because if you win a belt in one championship, like any other organization, you automatically are signed, locked down into a contract, I think, unless he's managed to get a special deal. But there's no way one would let him win an interim title and then not be contracted to them. I'm pretty sure, because what happens to the interim belt if he decides to leave? This is very interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting. I don't know who's telling the truth. I don't know who's lying. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle, man. Your dog's sleeping, bro. He guards you for the whole night. You're safe. Yeah, I got two of them. There's another one, Billy, down here, is sleeping on the doormat. They're not guarding me at all. They're sleeping. It's not even nighttime. It's broad. It's daytime. They sleep all day and all night. They're very lazy, these dogs. But yeah, they like to chill. When I'm doing my live shows, they like to come and chill. Kind of one of the reasons I'm in the bedroom now, yeah, because it's just a bit more dog friendly too. Okay. Sometimes when it gets to that point, Story of the Fight says, of exercising those contract options, it burns the relationship either way. Yeah, it's just a lot of people, saying what's going on with Rodtang. It's been a little bit dicey for a while, right? There was a bit of spice before the Nongo fight, and we all saw how that unfolded. A lot of cryptic social media posts before that one and after, and the weight cut shenanigans. Rodtang just about making it, but then going to hospital straight after. So we'll have to see how it unfolds. It's definitely, this is going to blow up, and I want to talk about it more, but I just don't know what else we can say right now. We have to see how it shapes up and shakes down, so to speak. So, we'll see. All right. Friday fights. A lot of you asking me now about KSW. So let me try to find this one. A lot of you were shocked by the result on this. And here it is. Samingdam beats Joshua win by unanimous decision. Friday fights 147. Yeah, my mentions were a shit show, especially on Facebook. But even on here, you can see a lot of people accusing Samingdam of running away. Bro got robbed. Thai championship. This is a recurring meme of Myanmar fans on Facebook saying it's not one championship, it's Thai championship. Look, man, I thought KSW won the fight. It's just one of those things. I'm pretty sure it'll be reviewed. One does review fights that are controversial decisions. They'll look back at it. They get their judges to all look at it, and they determine if the judges got it wrong. And I think if they determine that, they usually rebook the fight. It's happened before, so maybe, I know it's upsetting to the fans and to KSW to have that loss, but I think there's a high chance it'll be rebooked, and of course Samingdam missed weight for it as well. I think, he failed hydration, so there's that element too, which probably leaves a sour taste in people's mouths from Myanmar. So yeah, I'm with you guys. I think KSW won that fight, and they should do a rematch, and he should still be unbeaten in one Friday fight. So I don't know what else I can say, but yeah, hopefully you can get that rematch. I know how passionate the Myanmar fans are, and I'm sure one will not want to risk their wrath or their ire by ignoring their calls for the rematch. I'm pretty sure it'll happen. Like I said, I thought KSW won, but the big news on this show, two of them, Nabil Anand obviously losing his bantamweight belt to Rambolek by unanimous decision. Big shock. Two knockdowns for Rambolek. Flash knockdowns, I think it's fair to say, especially the first one. Nabil wasn't rocked or anything. A lot of Mehdi was very upset. Mehdi said too, I think, about the second knockdown. I heard he was kind of shouting all the way to the back about it. This one I could see a rematch as well, and I think Nabil won't make excuses, and I don't want to make excuses for him either. But he did the weight cut during Ramadan. It's just not ideal for him, man. Look at the state of him here. He looks very disheveled, and he normally looks kind of sucked out like that, but not as bad as this. And like I was saying, he was fasting during Ramadan, and he's if you're not familiar with it, from sunrise to sunset, you can't eat or drink anything for a month, basically, in Ramadan. And his whole fight camp, so like at least the second half of it depends how long he knew he had this fight, but it was publicly announced, I think in February, a month before, and then so he's had to do the fight camp dehydrated, and at nighttime, training at night, because you can't train in the day if you're not eating anything. It's just too much on the body, and it's just difficult. So he's come in not fully prepared and not at the top of his game, and you don't want to be in the ring with a guy like Rambolek, who's on such a tear at the moment. Obviously beat Diakayev, Nabil's teammate. He's a very, very good fighter. Does Nabil beat Rambolek if he's fully prepared and hydrated and not fasting? Let's see. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to do that rematch. Rambolek talked about it. Definitely going to happen, he said. Yeah, I can't show you the knockdowns, guys, because obviously this is now under the inner circle. This fight was on the paywall, the inner circle. So, gonna sneeze. Sorry. Oh, a little bit chilly in here. Turning off the aircon. There you go. It's the dangers of Hong Kong. It suddenly just gets very hot, and so you put on your aircon, but then it's freezing. Yeah, the weather's picking up here, but yeah, Nabil, very, very shocking. I think he just looked like he wasn't at his best. His punches didn't have the same zip. Rambolek countered him perfectly. Hats off to Rambolek, great performance, and he is the new bantamweight Muay Thai champion of the world. His dream came true. You can read my post about it, my article on Bangkok Post. Yeah, he was definitely an underdog, but he's been really on a huge comeback from. I talked about it in this piece, but it kept a remarkable resurgence for he's only 23, which is crazy as well. But Rambolek was the first fighter, obviously, to win the contract on Friday Fights in 2023. But then he lost his next 2 fights, and it was suddenly like, oh, because he was anointed as the next big thing. I remember after getting that contract, and he'd already won, I think, just before signing for or getting on Friday Fights, he won the Channel 7 stadium belt, something like that. So he was definitely highly thought of. And then it was pretty clear on Friday Fights, this he needs to be on the main roster. But yeah, he lost to Faria Aminapur, who's very good, and he tragically died as well. I think in a motorbike crash as well in Thailand, which is a real underreported thing. Like how many deaths there are in Thailand on the roads. Wherever I'm there, I'm terrified of getting on those bikes, and I only do it. I've done it twice, I think, and both times I'm so scared that when I get off the bike, my legs were jelly and I was pale. I thought I'm gonna faint. It's terrifying going on those highways, But obviously, all the fighters in Phuket and Pattaya, they all have the mopeds, and it's just there's so many tragic crashes. Yeah, but anyway, that's rest in peace, Faria Minapur. But he was a very talented fighter, and I think he would have gone straight to the top as well. So there's no real shame in losing to him. And then he lost to Asa Ten Pao as well in Singapore, 3rd round knockout. That was a bit more of a shock, but also I think Asa Ten Pao is very underrated. And Asa used all of his experience and veteranness to beat Rambolek. But it was still a shock. And then, he had to go back and rebuild himself on Friday Fights, took a fight down there. And then he fought Craig Coakley, sorry, on fight night. And he beat him, but it wasn't convincing. It was a decision. It was convincing enough, but it was still like not a statement. But since then, he started to just turn things up. I think he got that confidence back with those wins, and then he got with Pete Miller, Condition Nutrition, I think, and also he got with Note and started working on his strength and conditioning side as well as nutrition. So it all just started clicking for him, and he packed on a lot more muscle, but still was able to make weight. I think he just changed the whole way he approached things, and suddenly he was just looking, like the guy we thought he's going to be. And then this was his 6th win in a row, I believe. Yeah, and you look at that hit list, back-to-back wins over Diakaev and Nabil is unthinkable. So hats off to him, man. But it's been coming, like I said, 6 wins in a row. It wasn't just these 2 wins. He's been on an upward trajectory. But yeah, I think Nabil will get that rematch with him, and they're gonna do it. And we'll see if Nabil is able to get that belt back, or maybe Nabil's time in bantamweight is coming to an end. Was that the beginning of the end, those struggles with the weight? Because he came in with 3 minutes to go. There was a possibility he would have been stripped to the belt on the scale drama, but he came in and he passed. But I think it's probably more to do with Ramadan, right? And Pete was telling me, with Asadullah as well, we'll talk about him in a minute, but both of them were fasting, and it just kind of messes with, because you have to be hydrated throughout the week to pass these hydration tests, and both of them were not hydrated. So I think Nabil will probably still do another year or 2 in bantamweight before going up, but it's a fine line, isn't it? Anyway, story of the fight says Rambolek had a sick ass lead leg low kick to the rear leg of Nabil in that fight. Cool as F, and really smart against a guy like Nabil. Yeah, played the perfect game. Nabil looked like he didn't know what to do, and I've never seen him like that since the first Super Leg fight, where pretty much every other fight since then he's dominated. Did it a few times. Genius to use that lean, Angie says, against the ropes, with full guard up, stopping the boxing and the knees. Masterful game planning from Super Bond. Yeah, of course. I forgot to mention in that stuff about Remelec, I think the final piece of the puzzle was joining Superbon's gym. Sorry, I may have just said Superlect there. I mean Superbon, yeah. Joining Superbon training camp, and just having that little bit of championship experience from Bon and Nongo probably just took him that extra 5%, which can be the difference between titles and nearly getting to the top. So yeah, great, and they also helped him with Diakaev, so it was just perfect game planning. Story of the fight says, I wanted to do a quick breakdown of it, but since it's paywalled, I ended up just showing screenshots on our live recap. Yeah, the paywall is kind of a shame, but it is what it is. Well, we can look at the card for this week. It's not as good, this card, obviously, this week, but yeah, I'll have all the face-offs today on my channel, so stay tuned. But yeah, that was the other big story, of course, from Friday Fights is Asadullah Imangazaliev. Oh, I mean, everybody's talked about it already. I don't know what else I can add to it, but yeah, what a insane combo, as Story of the Fight says on the comments here. It was insane. Just beautiful stuff. And I think a lot of us were scared this was going to happen to Nongo, that he was just going to get knocked out pretty badly. He's had a history of it at bantamweight with these guys who are bigger than him. And I know Asadullah makes flyweight. Well, he didn't this time, but he's essentially one of those guys who's cutting a lot of weight, isn't he, to get down. And I don't think he'll be at flyweight forever. The thing is, Nongo came down from bantamweight to get away from these bigger dudes, and he wanted to be the big dude himself, against these smaller guys. But Asadullah is not smaller than him. And, Nongo, 37 years old, or 39, I think maybe. He's definitely no spring chicken, but this kind of sucks for him because he had a dream of one more title run. But yeah, you've got, as long as Asadullah's around, I don't think anyone else is going to have the belt. But of course, he didn't win the belt here because he missed weight, as we said. Failed a hydration test during the 3-hour window. Came back and passed after, of course, because you have to. Made the weight, but was nearly 5 pounds over, I think. And then, yeah, but he's basically the de facto champion now. Anyone else who wants it has got to come through him. And here's my write-up on it. You can see he called for Rodtang afterwards, and a lot of people are talking about that fight for sure. I think maybe Rodtang's the guy to stop him, but how can you stop this guy? I think that's 8 wins in a row on 1 Friday Fights and 1 championship, and 7 of them are knockouts, not TKOs and straight up knockouts. And the only one that he didn't finish was, a pretty dominant decision. So it's a tall order for sure, but if anyone can do it, maybe it is the Iron Man. But who knows now after that bombshell Rodtang just dropped, But yeah, he looked so good in this. And Joe Rogan's been talking him up a lot, obviously, about him being one of the best strikers on the world, and how Dagestan is now producing not just the grappling, but the striking. And yeah, this guy is scary. I've been saying it for a long time. He deserved that contract a long time before he got it. And I speak to Mehdi about him, and Mehdi was always telling me, this guy is special. He's special. He's going to be the champ. He should be the champ right now. He's not because of Ramadan and the weight miss. So I think, what do you do with him? Yeah, we'll see what happens with Rodtang. But if you don't have Rodtang, I think if Aslam Ortikov beats Jordan Estupinan, you can do that fight, I think. They just announced that one for Fight Night 42 next month. So I think that's a pretty good fight. I feel Aslam maybe hard done by slightly, already being passed over for this fight. I think Aslam should have fought Nongo for it, the vacant belt. I think he was ahead of the queue in Asadullah, but because he also beat Kongtorani first, but Asadullah finished Kongtorani, whereas Aslam beat him by decision. So yeah, I can see why they went with that. But yeah, it was a scary knockout, like I said. Nongo was fine though. he's been posting a lot of stuff, telling fans. A lot of fans are saying maybe he should retire, but he's saying, no, I'm good. But getting knocked out is part of being a fighter. It's true. I don't think every guy is going to knock him out like this, but he's had 2 or 3 bad ones now, hasn't he? Haggerty, Nico, and this. But yeah, he survived against Nabati and arguably beat him. Some people were unhappy with that. A lot of people thought Nabati was going to shadow around him. It didn't. So I still think Nongo's got some miles left on the tank or whatever you want to say. He shouldn't hang it up just because he got knocked out by Asadullah. Asadullah knocks out everyone. So yeah, I think if Nongo wants to continue, I've got no problems with that. Still think he's good enough to be a player in the flyweight division, and hopefully still one day, we see that fight with Rodtang in some fashion. Okay. Yeah, rough seeing Nongo go down like that. I agree. Story of the fight. Uzki on one says that Japan card is shaping up good. The Hugh fight is fire. Hope they add a few more good ones. Next fight night looks great too. Hope one keeps on this track. Yeah, shout out Uzki on one. I agree with you. We'll talk about the samurai fights in a sec. I'll just have a quick look. What else was notable from Friday fights? Pompat TKO and Jiao Suyai in the third round. Yeah, I was surprised by this one, man. Like Jiao Suyai was really kind of on the verge of title shot himself, right? He was on the up. A lot of people were talking about him as future champ or title challenger, and then that he lost to Akif. Fans accused Akif of running away, but whatever. And then he went down to strawweight and lost to Sam A in a great fight where he had Sam A hurt, but Sam A is such a master. And then he come back for this, back up at flyweight. But I think the mistake was going down to strawweight, because that was in December, and then this is March. I don't think his body's had enough time to recover from that cut, and you got to pick one and stay there, not just bounce around both. In long term, I think his best chance of winning a belt, if that's what he wants, might be strawweight, because some of these flyweights are just too big for him. He's a small guy, So we'll see. I think best to commit, to a long-term strawweight cut. I think he could, get right in the mix there for the belt, because he could have beaten Sammy. He was close to it. Yeah, but this was a shock. But a great win for Pompet. Racha Sisan, formerly known as Kulabdam, knocking out Uzair Ismailjonov in the third round. Are we surprised? No, it's Kulabdam. He's so damn good. Both of these guys missed weight for this one, which was a shock, because I think it was bantamweight. Yeah, but Kulabdam should be making that, But yeah, it was standard Kulabdam and another victim for him. Suryan Lek, this was a good fight. Controversial a little bit. Some people thought Gregor did enough to win. Suryan Lek getting the bonus as well. I have no qualms with him winning this one, and I think why not do a rematch? They've done that with Suryan Lek before. I think with was it Decho or someone he lost to and he beat once, and then they did a rematch. So yeah, but Suryan Lek is clearly one of their Friday fights stars, right? And I talked about this before, how some people are asking, oh, why isn't so-and-so getting the contract? Why aren't they moving up? It's because I think, one wants to keep a few guys around to build shows around. And, Suryan Lek is always good for a main event. He can fight every month if he has to. He invariably gets bonuses. So he's okay, I think, to not have that contract where I think it's $100,000, right, for 6 fights or something. So it's like 12, 15K or whatever for each fight. He's probably on a lot less, right? His base pay But I'm sure there's a sort of handshake agreement. If you get a knockout, you're getting a bonus, or even if you just put on a good fight, you're getting a bonus, because he's got bonuses now for 2 decisions, and one of them he lost to Gingsang on the last 2 temp polls. So he's fine where he is, I think, for now. Like, give him you get a bonus on your base, but he's basically making probably more than he's going to get on on fight night. And even if you get a knockout on fight night now, you're not guaranteed to get that 50K. There was a time when they were throwing out the 50Ks for every finish, but not anymore. So I think he's better off where he is for now. But I think one day, I want to see him up there. But keep him there for now if he's happy. But yeah, Gregor Tom thought he did enough. He definitely did. He knocked him down, and there was a lot of, I think the kicks, was causing a lot of damage with the kicks. But yeah, Sirenlek, love the guy. Fair play to him. You can see the knockdown there, yeah. Battled back from it. I have no problems with the scorecards. Samming down, we talked about this one, KSW. I don't want to reopen that Pandora's box. Decho knocks out Elvin Kazumovi in the first round. Got the bonus. Yeah, good performance from him. Not much else to say. Pet beats Noomsarin. This was a bit of a shock. Yeah, Noomsarin, obviously former title challenger against Nadaka. Was supposed to fight Song Chai Noi on this card, but Song Chai Noi withdrew for whatever reason, and this was a short notice one. Maybe that messed with him a little bit, But as the comments say there, this one was a robbery. Jiao.exe says everyone in the crowd was shocked. Translation: I'm confused. How can I lose? Yeah, I don't know whether this was another decision the judges got wrong, so to speak. Whether they'll review that one. It was there was a close fight. Zhao Zhengdong beat Jonas Anand by unanimous decision, got that knocked out. Yeah, it just wasn't a good night for the Anand bros. And then Jonas got the knockdown back, but second knockdown there. It was maybe a little too much for Jonas. Too much too soon, He fought on February, I think it was. Yeah, I saw him fight. It was a quick turnaround. He's probably been doing Ramadan as well. I think there's a lot more to come from him, but he's still super young. And I think, let's just slow the brakes a little bit on him. They don't need to push him so fast, so soon. It was a good win, though, for Zhao. But yeah, maybe Jonas as well had a little bit of mental side, having seen the Beal lose just before he walked out. Yeah, Ryoga Terayama knocks out Narek Kachi. I cannot pronounce that. Yeah, a lot of finishes on this fight, a lot of bonuses on this card. Rambolek, the Beal, we did that. Pakon, TK Sexan. You talk about fighters should retire, this or that. I think Sexan, I'd say, is a lot more should retire than Nongo, but I still think Sexan can have good fights on Friday fights with the right opponents. I think he was getting the right opponents that year when he fought like 10 times or whatever and always got the bonuses and stuff. But then they push him up a little bit too high. And I think he's just too old to compete at that top level. They've had to bring him back down a little bit, and he's still now kind of not there. If you want to give him, lower level guys, you're content with that. Having him be like the crowd pleaser, he's still got a role to play, I think. But in terms of him, I think we're definitely seeing the end game of Sexan, which is a shame because he is, for me, Mr. Friday Fights. He was that guy who just defined what it was. I remember, was it maybe the second week the show was on, or it was maybe even the first week that fight with Tyson Harrison just defined what 4-ounce Muay Thai is. So maybe as Vegas Rob says, traditional Muay Thai with big gloves. 4-ounce doesn't help him out right now, does it? But I think there was a time it worked for him. Maybe he just needs to yeah, I don't know. Drop the level a little bit. And Pakon is a very, very good fighter. And they obviously had a history, right? I think they had a win each in the stadium, something like that. They had a couple of wars way back when at Lumpini, outside of before Friday Fights took over Lumpini. So yeah, he is a legend, and if he retires, all the best. I don't think he will. I think he'll keep going because the money is good, right? And he's well documented. He's been through financial struggles before Friday Fights came along, so I'm sure he'll want to maximize what he can get before he does hang it up. But he's getting on in age, right? And he's getting knocked out now and losing fights a lot. So yeah, there it is. PTT knocks out Arian Esparza with a counter spinning back up. This was awesome. Yeah, a great fight, I thought, as well. Arian's the kind of guy you want to. I like him. I think he's underrated, and he always brings the fight. That's what I'm trying to say. But PTT's not the kind of guy you want to just go hell for leather with, but he did it anyway. And fair play to him. It was a short notice fight as well. PTT's opponent, Hamza Rakid, pulled out on the week of the card. So fair play to Arian stepping up and taking it. And he looked in amazing shape, so much better shape than before. So hopefully he's back soon. He's the right kind of fighter for one. PTT now on a roll, isn't he? But yeah, Yodlek Pet knocks out Ginseng Lek. This was a shock as well, man. Ginseng Lek. This looked so damn good. He'd been on a real win streak, and yeah, this was, I don't know what went wrong for him there. So, but shout out Yodlek Pet. Great fight. But there it is. I'll get into some samurai stuff, I think someone was asking about. I'll hang around. It's already been a long show. I don't want to stay too long. PTT knockout, low-key one of the greatest KOs I've ever seen. Yeah, it was spinning back elbow while Arian did it as well. Amazing stuff. What do you think about KSW? So, yeah, and Tunas. I said earlier, I think KSW should have won that fight, and hopefully they do the rematch. Anatoly Pimentel with a message there. I don't know what it is. Shout out Anatoly. I hope they don't push Pakon too high as well. I want to see him fight Muay Thai next. CSBV says, yeah. Was Giannis' fight pushed a bit after Nabil's loss? Originally, he was first on the card. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Yeah, with that. Is one giving up the MMA roster? Anatoly asks, especially after the departure of several big names. No, I was saying in the group chat earlier, like they're not giving up MMA. Far from it. Like they're actively putting on lots of MMA fights on fight night cards. Just they're changing their roster. I think the old guard is being phased out a little bit, and they're bringing through new stars, new people. There's a bit of a change. It's just, but yeah, there's a lot of MMA. Don't worry. It's sort of like, the old legends who built the house that is one championship are all kind of one by one leaving, which is, it's just like I said, changing of the guard. I think a lot of them are on very expensive contracts too, and the reality for one is like they need a more viable financial model now, and you can't pay everyone like $200,000 for. It's just not a business model that's going to work for them right now. They need to bring those contracts down, and you're seeing it with Friday fights, things like that, where they're creating their own new stars. They're bringing in people on lower contracts, so it is what it is. The investor money isn't what it used to be. For one, they'd get like $150 million every couple of years from venture capitalists, but that whole thing has dried up everywhere. You're not seeing that in combat sports anymore, and one has had to create their own revenue and profit, and it's just changed how they operate. But yeah, times they are changing. Story of the fight says, I agree. Very, very quickly, looking at this card tomorrow, Kongchai and Mehrdad Khanzadeh in the main event. I'm also excited to see Nong Fasai against Nicole Wangza Ching as well, Hong Kong's own. Shout out. A couple other people returning. Look out for Ranma from Japan in that bantamweight kickboxing bout with Velihan Palid. And Sonrak in the main event of the Inner Circle against Deadwang Lek should be a banger. Lam Namunlek as well. Always love to watch him. Staying in kickboxing, it looks like, yeah, against Yuan Pengji. Also, yeah, it's not in the Inner Circle. A lot of people are wondering whether we're going to get a title fight every week, right, to justify the $10 price over in America. Not going to happen. You're going to have to decide whether you want to pay that much money for 4 of these level of cards every month. So I think it's still worth it, obviously. It's $2.50 if you're in America for 5 fights each week. The way I look at it, maybe one can bring that. I would have charged 5 USD, like it is for me in Hong Kong here. I think it's around that price, like it is for other countries. I think 10's a little steep. You got to think how many subscription services do people already have elsewhere, like Netflix, Amazon. I know I've got all these stuff, HBO, Prime Video. I got so many things like that. Interesting to see K1 tweet about One Samurai giving props to Takura and Marat. Makes me think One's really taking the market there. I haven't seen that tweet, but yeah, I think there's been a little bit of a sea change, and I think One is now like being less aggressive about other promotions in Japan and then trying to coexist with them. You know what I mean? And I think that's the way things are done in Japan. And part of this, the new CEO of One Japan coming in and whatever role he has, it might not be CEO, but yeah, I think they're going to lead that whole side of things. And I think, One is becoming a major player in that market. And he knows about Taiwan Chai. How's he doing? Yusuke and what? I don't know. Nothing. Haven't heard about it. Valihan Palit going to win. You heard it here first. DSPV. All right. Well, let's see. Yeah, I'll have all the weigh-ins, like I said, for you guys a bit later today. It's going to be a busy day for me. But yeah, what else? Oh yeah, Samurai shaping up nicely. Hugh versus Naito. We had that one announced. So I interviewed Hugh after his win, and he said he called out Naito. Naito said sure thing, and they had a little back and forth on Twitter on my mentions are blowing up. So glad that sometimes it is super easy. It's just like these two guys want to fight. This fight is a good fight. Let's do it. Boom, got done in like a couple weeks. So shout out. But yeah, Chevy Gonzalez also back as well. Check out my socials for all the latest news. I try to be as up to date as possible. But yeah, I'll have to love you and leave you now. I'll be back tomorrow though, because we've got another interview with my guy, the Manimal, Chase Mann, back for a 3rd appearance. Yeah, he's quite a frequent guest. So he's got a fight next month at Fight Night 42 against Jabir Jabrailov. Yeah, we'll get into Fight Night 42 a little bit more tomorrow because yeah, I've done an hour and a half here. I need to bounce. Okay. Pup chilling hard. Yeah, exactly. Molly's fast asleep. I've put her to sleep with my boring talk. Peace, Nick. Take care. Yeah, thank you, DSBV27 for your comments and questions. Thank you all of you for your comments, questions. Sorry, this show was a bit delayed. My Friday fights recap. Had a busy week, had a lot of dad stuff I've been doing. Yeah, Monday took her out like 3 days in a row, which if any of you have kids, I'm sure you know, like just like 3 or 4 hours outside with a baby is exhausting. Done it 3 days back to back. Yesterday as well was like the toughest because we took her to the doctor to get some vaccines, right? It was like her 3rd round of vaccines, so she did not like that. She was very upset. It was tough getting her back home. She was screaming, crying. Yeah. But yeah, Monday we took her to the zoo as well. And then Tuesday we went to another place nearby here where I live, in Hong Kong, another town or whatever you call it, Tung Chung we went to. So she's had a busy week, so have I. But yeah, I'm back. Gonna be working hard today and tomorrow. Of course, Friday fights. And I got, like I said earlier, I got some big news I'm going to break later today. So stay tuned, guys. Yeah. Big Dad moves, precisely. All right. This Big Dad needs to move out downstairs and get to work. All right. I'll see you guys. Thank you for your ever present loyalty and support. Appreciate it. Yeah, check out my socials for all the weigh-ins, not weigh-ins, sorry, face-offs from today, and then check for this big news I'm gonna drop later, and then just enjoy your weekends, guys. We're nearly there. It's Thursday. I've got a friend's getting married on the weekend, so it's gonna be a busy weekend for me too. Yeah, let's all enjoy it. Thanks, guys. See you soon.